A whole family of twigs lived in the hollow of a tree. They covered themselves with leaves like blankets and used small mushrooms as chairs. Every Christmas, Father lovingly prepared gifts for each of his children. The eldest son got a toy car made of fruit, the second a pair of skating rinks, and the third a coloring pen. This family of 5 lived there, filled with joy. Whenever they saw people coming or going, they would immediately lie down on the ground and transform into dry twigs. Time changed. The dry tree became green again. Winter passed, spring came. Even Twig Father grew a green leaf on his head. He loved to run in the morning sun. When he saw a snail unable to reach the leaves, kind Twig Father plucked one and placed it in front of it. Just then, there was a rustling sound in the bush. The snail was about to alert him when a dog came running. The sight of the moving twig made him happy. The dog mistook Twig Father for a toy and ran after him. He thought he would be safe if he laid down like a stick, but the opposite happened. The dog grabbed him in his mouth. Actually, he wanted to play with his master. Just as the little boy started throwing the twig again, a watchman came and stopped him. He scolded the boy, saying the dog should be chained. Thus, Twig Father's life was saved. He was returning home when suddenly a girl came from behind. He quickly lay down, but the girl picked him up. Actually, she wanted to play stick throwing with her friends. Twig Father continued to struggle. Suddenly, he started spinning in the air and fell into the river. When he realized he could swim, he started floating comfortably, but gradually the water carried him away. After passing through a circle of water, he reached another river. He tried with all his might to return home. Then he met a fisherman. He released the small fish, and Twig Father swam to shore with the help of the fish hook. But he lost his balance and was about to fall again when a frog saved him. Just as he was relieved, a swan snatched them in its beak. It brought them to its nest and sat down under dry leaves. It was actually hatching eggs. After some time, the eggs hatched and tiny swans emerged. Twig Father watched the swan family leave happily, but suddenly, a paddle landed on his back and he fainted. The current of the river carried him to the sea. When he regained consciousness, he found himself far from home. He desperately wanted to return, but the waves of the sea pushed him further and further away. Meanwhile, Twig Mother waited for Twig Father. They looked at the leaves their husbands had swept, the birds' nests, and then glanced out to sea. Meanwhile, Twig Father wandered aimlessly in the sea. Finally, a wave swept them ashore. There, they were buried in the sand. A small crab recognized them. He pulled the girls' twigs away so that Twig Father could escape, but their troubles never ended. Sometimes the children used them as sticks to play with dogs, sometimes as hooks for forks, sometimes as coloring pens, sometimes as bows and arrows. Finally, they fell into the snow and were turned into snowmen's hands. They scrambled out of there and tried to find their way home. They fell exhausted in the bitter cold, but still helped small insects along the way. When they regained consciousness, they found themselves in a burning hearth. Actually, a girl had thrown them into the fire. They were about to escape when they heard a cry for help from above. Twig Father used all his strength to catch his leg and saved him. It was none other than Santa Claus. He jumped out of the room with Twig Father and began distributing gifts to the children. In the end, only 3 gifts were left, and they were for Twig Father's 3 children. The children were missing their father when suddenly there was an explosion from upstairs. They ran outside and saw that their father had returned, bearing gifts for them. The family embraced each other, and Twig Father finally arrived home.